Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. Today we're gonna have a 400 subscriber special, or I should really say 100, 200, 300, and 400 subscriber special, because I've reached 4 milestones and I haven't really done anything, well, special for it. I made a video covering 100 subs, but I never really did anything after that. I said I was gonna show one of your bases, but no one really submitted or asked for it, so I never managed to make that video, which is perfectly fine. But now we're at 400 subscribers. So if I'm going to ask the same again, if you want to be featured in a video where I will go through your base and show it on this channel, then you can leave that as a comment down below. But today, regardless, I'm going to show you my base on the island, on my main island save, where I record a lot of my videos, like all the creature ones, for example. Currently, I'm not really playing on this too much because I have my center world, but, and it also got a little bit boring and lonely, but, I will eventually continue in the future. So, I'm gonna show you my base here. It's not the best base, it is a PvE base, basically. Although I did try to implement some PvP elements into it just to kind of, I guess, practice. I don't know. So, I'm gonna show you my base. You've seen clips of it in previous videos. Some of the dinos might be familiar too. But now I'm going to show you it in more detail. But first of all, again, just, I don't think I've said it, but just thank you so much for, like, 400 subscribers. That's really unbelievable. I was not expecting to reach 400 subscribers at the pace that we've done. My channel started growing around New Year, gained 11 subscribers in about a week, and I was so happy. I was like, 11 subscribers in a week is pretty darn good. But then you guys just... wow, I don't know what happened, but suddenly I got 100 subscribers in just 2 weeks, and then... now we are not even at the end of February, and I've almost reached 500, or I reached 400, but that's almost 500, so... if you want to help me reach 500 by the end of February, then remember to hit the subscribe button, and I'll do more videos like this. I have some other bases of previous Let's Plays that or playthroughs, like personal playthroughs, that I can show. I also would love to show your bases here as well. So again, if you have a base that you want me to show, then you can comment it down below. But today we're gonna take a look at my base. Not sure how long this video is gonna be, but this is gonna be a world tour type thing, because I'm also gonna show you my starter base and some other potential structures around. I actually don't remember everything I built here, but main focus is this base right here. So this is my PvE yet kind of ugly PvP type base. Built on the island, no cheats, all me alone, solo. I obviously have some multipliers on, that makes it a bit easier, but I haven't used commands or anything. Yeah, this is the base. Sorry if the FPS will be a bit low in this one, because there's a lot of creatures and stuff, so it's gonna be laggy, but yeah, so this is the area that I built. I should be smart enough to bring a GPS next time, but I don't think I have it on this guy. No, I guess I'll show the coordinates when I find my GPS. But, yeah, you can see on the map, though, very clearly where I live. And this is a pretty beautiful area, and actually, surprisingly enough for PvE, it's actually a pretty decent area, too. Because, well, first of all, there's metal pretty close by. I think I've harvested this recently enough that it isn't anything here now, but this area has metal. There's a metal right there? No, there is a mountain right there that has a lot of metal. There is a mountain over there that looks maybe a bit further away than it actually is. It's pretty close with metal too. Volcano is not that far away. We also have the metal mountain in the redwoods, and with a fast RG you can reach those within just a minute tops of flying. So there's a lot of metal nearby, so that is easy to farm. There's also beavers, like literally right at this waterfall right here. Although I think I've harvested the dams, but if you watch my beaver dam video, you know that they'll spawn here. So I have cement paste. There is also another beaver dam spot over there and over there. So cement paste is pretty easy to get. It is also fairly defendable. I mean, as you can see here, there's a little pillar between these two bigger ones that you can build some small fences around, and then the biggest problem is that you gotta block off the back. But on the other hand, that allows you to kind of choose the size of your base. You can block it off on a very small area, or you can expand it and make it bigger like I did and get a pretty big area. But yeah, I think this is a decent PvE spot to build. It's also very beautiful. You have a waterfall right there. You've probably seen that. I used that for some of my B-roll shots. You also have the very beautiful view of a mountain, redwoods. Yeah, this is, generally speaking, a pretty good area. All the resources you need for the end game nearby, with the exception of polymer. But enough talking about base location. Oh, yeah, it's starting to rain. This is what I built. I used dino gates to block off the area. There is quite a lot of alpha creatures, so you'll have to make the gates in metal. Or else your gates will constantly get damaged. I would also recommend, you know, yeah, you have to make regular gates. You can't make pillars or walls, so that's going to take a long time. So I used metal gates. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you might see that I had spikes here before. I used to have spikes instead of a full gate, because I did a PvP approach where you would have spikes to kind of hurt your enemies. However, I realized that it actually caused more problems than it solved, because it only made animals aggro on the gates because they got attacked by the spikes. So having these gates just makes the dinos wander around without caring about me or anything inside. But if these were spikes, then creatures constantly, like, aggroed on the fence and kept attacking it. So I realized that I should just switch them out to gates, so instead of having spikes. But yeah, quite a big area as well. Now, I used to have a smaller base. You can actually kind of see it on this angle right there, how it's a kind of sharper angle. That's because my base used to cut down in here, roughly meet up here, smaller base. But then I expanded it because I wanted more room, mainly to keep my boss Rexes, but most of those are on one of the obelisk right now. I have a couple of large behemoth gates, 4 of them, one on each side of the base. So this one leads to the river, which is kind of a highway to get to the redwoods up there and over there. But I also have one right there to get to the west, one to get up to the mountain, and one to get that way a bit easier. So 4 gates, 1 on each side of the base. On this one pillar, it's very flat, and this is where I have my taming cages. I made them in metal, not because this is literally because I was bored. I had a lot of metal and I wanted to just make the metal to flex. Literally the only reason why they're metal. They're perfectly aligned. I placed foundations in between, so they're perfectly aligned. This one is a simple taming. If you wonder why I use doors, that's because I tamed a creature that could go through these doors. So I just ended up putting doors in, but door frames so you can easily shoot through. Because obviously it doesn't spawn any animals up here, so this is a drop-in cage. So I use an RG or a Quetzal to drop creatures in, knock them out. You've also seen this one used in practically every video where I mentioned that you can drop a creature down in the taming cage if you have one. This is a permanent RG cage. I have already built one that's built out of gates in my Let's Play and in my what was it, like taming cage video. But this one is a bit of a different design, costs a bit more resources, but it looks better, and it also is like permanent and whatnot. So this pillar in particular, you have a mountain right there, so why build a bunch of cages wherever you find the RG when you can have one and tame a bunch of them in the same one? So this one is 3 foundations, door frames on each side, pillars so you can fly a Pteranodon, land, run around the back, and just close the gate. Looks a little bit better than the gate one, but it's also a bit more expensive. But I had the resources, so why not? This ugly, horrid construction is a cage I found. I don't remember which YouTuber, but I had to search up how to tame those frickin' spiders, and this is a cage that works perfectly. So you would drop it in, put a hatch frame on top so it doesn't aggro or something, build a little platform around, and then you can sneak under and feed it, because it's a passive tame, without it, without worrying about it seeing you or something when you use bug repellent. And I tamed a spider, and I was supposed to remove this cage, but I never did, so now I just have this ugly stone thing right next to the other ones. So that's the taming cages. Then I can just quickly show you my plant defenses. Now this one is, before anyone comments, yes, this one is placed way too far back. I didn't really realize how far back it was before it was placed out, but these are the plant defenses that I placed when the gate had spikes. These basically just kill any flyers that might approach. Pretty simple. 5 plants together, pillars to support them, a ladder to get up so I can get, you know, put fertilizer in them. Although I did put in, like, I filled them up with fertilizer, so they shouldn't run out in quite some time. The rain will keep them irrigated, and that's pretty much it. Problem with these is that they will shoot at the brachios. There is a brachio over here, yeah. So if the brachio gets too close, they can just wander up over the gates. The plant will start shooting at them, and they'll get aggroed. And I have had, I think, 3 times where that has happened, where a brachio has wandered too close, gotten attacked, and then started attacking the gates, which were spikes at the time, and literally destroyed and killed a bunch of dinosaurs. So that's a little bit annoying, but other than that, works pretty good to get rid of all the Dimorphodons and Pteranodons that tries to land in my base, because I'm a psychopath killer. So yeah, I'm gonna show you all the dinosaurs, but I think I'm gonna start maybe showing the structures, but this is sort of the main area. This is where I usually park my, gotta scratch my itchy spot. This is where I keep the dinos that I use more often. I kind of line them up. Usually there is just chaos. I'm not sure if you've seen in the background of some of my creature videos, but it's usually chaos here. But I try to line them up a little bit nicely for you guys. These are the dinosaurs that I commonly ride on, or use. So we have a Toad. You can do this so you can see the names. This one doesn't have a name. Toad to get cement paste. Perfect 150 tame, of course. We have the Terror Bird. I don't know why it's... Wait, where's Terry? I have one named Terry. This is just a Terror Bird. Again, perfectly leveled up. This is the Raptor that I use. Attack Raptor. I think it is a... I'm not sure if it's a 180, but it's a high level one at least. Higher than the normal Raptor. This is Alfred, my best Baryonyx. I have Coco as well, which I tamed in my Baryonyx video. But this guy is better. Has better stats. And bunny ears. Then we have a Diodon that I use to heal dinos, obviously. And then we have a Black Tiger, I believe this guy was called before. You might have seen it in some of my cave videos, if you've watched those. I renamed it to Shere Khan, though. Because that's cooler. But yeah, Black Tiger. Who looks very intimidating with those glasses. Look at that. Yeah, I lowered the graphics a little bit so that it wouldn't lag so much. This is my Eutyrannus, and you can also see Rexus back there. Egg farm, because exceptional and extraordinary kibble. It's a male, a bunch of females, they lay eggs. And I have 2 item collectors that will pick them up. So this one picks up poop, puts it in the dung beetles. And this one picks up eggs. And yeah, I have quite a lot of eggs because I have the egg lay rate up, because I just don't want to tame 100 dinos to lay eggs. So I made it the egg lay rate higher, and I did it maybe a little too high, because you can see how many eggs we get. And because I have more than enough kibble, they're kind of just left here to rot, to be honest. I know people that play on official might see these and be like, oh my god, that's so many eggs going to waste. Yeah, but I don't tame enough, okay? I have all creatures I need, so I just have a lot of kibble, so I don't really make kibble unless I have to at this point. This also collects the Achatina paste from the snails, because they drop those little pellets that I talked about in my Achatina video, which is something that they produce just as often as they do that 100 in their inventory. But if you have an item collector, just letting the Achatinas produce the ones that they drop and having the item collector pick them up is almost more efficient and easier than going through every single one and collect those 100 that they produce in their inventory. I have a little river here, so I can get water in my base. It sometimes has Esperornises and fish, but right now it's nothing. I'm gonna go through more of the dinos later, but we can take a look at this structure. This is my kitchen. Yeah, before anyone comments on that, yeah, I did plan on painting my whole base black to get rid of some of that shine, but it's kind of hard to access all of these wall panels, so I kind of gave up. So the ones that are hard to access was just left on the normal color. So it looks a little bit ugly. I'm gonna get around to paint it at some point. But yeah, this is the kitchen. Nice little structure. This back here, or on the side, is a little greenhouse for honey. I plan to make 4 or 5 of them on a row here, but right now I only have 1 that produces honey for me, obviously. Decided to make it a greenhouse because it looks a little bit nicer. And then this is the kitchen itself. An open building. Refrigerators, plenty of them to keep, well, I keep one full of each berry because they are used for kibble and stuff now. So I have a bunch of them, as you can see. The only thing I haven't collected is narcoberries, because I usually do. Yeah, that is a turret killing a Dimorphodon. This is one that's technically dedicated to narcoberries, but right now it's just filled with junk. Mejo, yeah, but I ran out of space in some of them, so now it's kind of chaos from here on out. But yeah, this one has biotoxins, some meat, prime meat, vegetables. This one has prime meat and some honey. This one has fish meat, prime meat, mutton, vegetables. This one was actually dedicated to normal meat, but it has some of the other stuff as well. I had the NPC mod, which gave me some stuff that isn't even from this map, like preserving salts. And this one is keeping just random stuff. Cooker, bare barrel. This fridge is... Yeah, I know it looks ugly, but it is practical. This is where I keep the eggs. And also ingredients for kibble. Mainly eggs, though, so I can just quickly turn around and put them in. And then this is a chemistry table, so I can make narcotics from here, because it's better than bringing the berries here from here and over to the other place. And this one keeps kibble. As well as darts and some other stuff. And grills to cook meat. We also have the greenhouse, which is back here. You've also, obviously, I was riding my golden RG. My trustworthy companion that has a bunch of junk in his inventory. We have all the herbivores. We'll take a look at those very soon. But here we got my greenhouse. Just a very simple greenhouse. It has 8 of each crop for the vegetables because mainly like citronal fruit, I believe, is used for so much stuff. So I keep running out. So I decided to just double the amount of crops. It was originally 2x2, 4 crops per vegetable, but I expanded it, so now it is twice as many. You can see it starts to go into the mountain, so I won't be able to expand it even more. But yeah, so this is a pretty darn big greenhouse, but it's nothing special. Just crops for all the veggies, pipeline going on top that gives water. Then we have all the herbivores. I'm just gonna do this again so you can see the names. And it, oh yeah, that's what drops the fair frame rate, I can tell. My Paraceratherium, which has a platform saddle. Just note that not all of my creatures have platform saddle or saddles right now, because I'm currently upgrading them so that they become perfect. Like this one is Ascendant. I'm using an upgrade station mod so that I get like incredibly good level ones, but it takes a while and a lot of resources. So currently, not all of my saddles are upgraded like that, so not all the creatures have saddles yet. Stegosaurus, I basically tame anything that's 150, even if it's a crap dino, so that's why I have so many of some, like, useless dinosaurs. We have Apache right here. We have a Parasaur, a Tech Parasaur. This was a 180. Perfect kibble tame, of course. Parasaur again. 150 Moschops. I have found so many Iguanodons, and most of these are 150s. I believe is probably going to be the lowest level one, right? So this one is at 135 that I tamed early on in the game, while the rest are 150s I found later. The same with the Stegos. I found so many Stegos. I think I found 4 150 Stegos that I've just tamed up. We have a couple of Trikes. Most of them are unnamed because I am so bad at names. 2 Apaches. We have a Bronto. And Diplodocus. A Mighty Brachiosaur, which is pretty freaking cool. And a couple of Spinos, 145s. Shame that they're both males. I also have a Kentro right there. And then we have my herbivore collection with an Acrocanthosaurus in the middle. My herbivores are plenty. I'm not joking, I don't know why, but I think I've seen at least like 12, 15 or 20 mammoths that are 150, but I haven't tamed all of them. Or I've tried, but they've often despawned because I'm like, okay, I'll do it some other time, and then they despawn. But I have tamed a lot of them, though, so that's why I have so many mammoths. They're all 150 perfect tames. We have Peaches, we have Manny, we have Mammoth, because it's a female. If it was a male, it would be Julian, right? Ellie, and another Mammoth, because it's another female. We have Sid. a 150 Chalicotherium, another one, a Thylacoleo backup. I have... Wait, where the hell is my other... I don't remember where my other Thylacoleo is. I have another one. I don't think it's down there. We have Diego, and then I realized it was a female, which would be, like, Shira, isn't that her name? And the same with Sid, I was like, oh shit, that's a female. That's the Acrocanthosaurus. We have a Megaloceros, we have a Baloo, a kangaroo, we have a woolly rhino, and another Megaloceros right here, or more specifically a reindeer. And it's turning nighttime, and I forget this map is really bright, so what is the command for that? Isn't it? Oh wait, is it, there we go. The center is so bright at night, but this one isn't. So we can go through the rest of the dinos. We have a couple of boss fighters that has, like, unbelievably high stats, because I've used notes to level them up. My goal is to have 100,000 health on these and 2,000 melee, so I'm working on that right now. This is where I keep my, more like dinosaur, or carnivores. This is like the mammal, we have the herbivore dinos, and then here we got the carnivore dinos. This is a 150 Spino. This is an Allo. This is a Megalania, who's stuck in the ground. A couple of boss fighter Rexes. And these are a couple ones. These that doesn't have a saddle are extra Rexes that I haven't leveled up yet. More Raptors, Carno. We have a cartoony Raptor. We have there's Coco, the one I tamed in my how-to video. Here's Carl, Cryolophosaurus. I haven't actually tried riding this one yet, so that's pretty cool. And there's Terry, and Terrorist, and we have Terry 2, and Terrorina. I literally, all Terror birds are named except the one I'm using. That's kind of strange. Then we have my Ankylo. This is Doedicurus. These are the farming dinos I use. I use my monkey sometimes. Beaver, Therizino, Dodic, and I have the Stego for berries, although I actually don't use him that much. And then if we move up here, we have these are my breeding Rexes, the best ones that I have. Not really the best. I'm not the best at I figured out I'm not a mutating Archgenius because it's too much waiting for me. But I kind of didn't understand the system until after I got the Rexes and started breeding here. So if I'm ever going to breed again on a new world, then I'm obviously going to actually do it more properly. But on this one, I didn't really care too much about the actual stats. But here we got the breeding Rexes, and I have 2 Gigas. This one is a low-level crap one that I tamed because I just needed a Giga to kind of try and tame every creature in this game. But then I found a 145 Giga right after, so here we got him. They don't have saddles, again, because I leveled stuff up. This gate leads into my birdcage, but we'll take a look at that a little bit later, because we can access it from the base. And that is another item collector that reaches those, so that we can get all the, like, eggs from that. And cement paste, or Achatina paste. Okay, that was all the dinosaurs. Very long, time to go through those, because there is quite a lot of them. Actually, that's not all of them. There are a bunch of them in my animal cage for the small creatures. In the front, we have just a bunch of cages with dung, mainly because it's much easier to just access the fertilizer from here and just go to the different, like, crops instead of go into a room to get them. This is just a little hallway on the side, giving me access to the animal cage for all the... Okay, hang on. I need to get the bloom quality down, because this is just impossible to look at. Hang on. What is the command for that? It is like r.bloom quality 0, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, but this is a little corridor going to the side, leading up to the birdcage. I guess because I'm here, I can show it right now. So this is one of the dino gates leading in. So it's a pretty big cage, but at the same time, not really. I mean, it barely fits like 3 Quetzals in here. I currently only have 2. I haven't found a single high-level one. These are both low-level craps. This is what I'm going to use to tame... I placed the cannon wrong, don't judge. I'm going to use this one eventually to tame... what is it called? Titanosaurus. Someone requested me to make a video on it, but I'm still trying to find some sort of genius way, because taming them with gear from the island is just so unbelievably hard as a solo player. So I'm trying to find some way to glitch or trap them or something and still deal torpor, so that's why I haven't made a video on that yet. And then this one is my main, like, taming Quetzal. It is ridiculously fast, because I can level up speed. Because they're so slow by default. A couple of RGs, mainly for breeding, or one of them is for farming metal. Yeah, it's this one. And this one is just when I tamed this as a female, so I can breed them. Just a Tapejara, because I needed one to tame every creature, and here we got my Pteranodons. One is called K-Bird, it has mainly combat stats, so I can go through the caves with him. And this one has my GPS, so I'll just grab that. And my ammo and weapons. And this one is Speed Demon. My original Speed Demon died, so this one is Junior. But this one literally only has speed, so I can travel around the map at lightning fast speeds, because I want to. Just to quickly show you, these are the coordinates of the base, by the way. 42.1 by 67.2. This is my big custom gate. Not a Behemoth gate, but the Superstructure mod, which I use, allows you to make these dynamic gates to match your own size. So I can bring the Quetzals out. And then this is the gate that I showed a bit earlier, leading down to the Gigas. And then, it's a pretty cool thing. I like this greenhouse feature. This leads down to my trophy room. I mean, you can barely see anything right now. But yeah, that's my trophy room down there. We'll take a look at that a little later. I'm missing a trophy there. But, yeah, so, this is my... Like, I like that view. I like the view. I like little, like, even though it's a second... how do I explain this? It's the floor below, but you can still watch down in it through these greenhouse walls. I like that. And then, if you didn't... No, wait. Never mind. I thought it was greenhouse on top. Okay, time to brighten it up so that we can see again. We're gonna get into the trophy room a bit later, though. I believe it's the artifact of the cunning that's missing, or am I completely wrong here? Is it just strong, too? No, yeah, okay, it's the cunning. I'll bring one, then. Now we can go into the base. I'm maybe going through it a bit fast, but that's because, well, I can't really cut stuff out of this video, but I want it to be as short as possible, so it doesn't take years to render. Yeah, that's why. This is a little side corridor. This is kind of where I get up to the second floor, but, so technically this is the main entrance. Just a little side corridor that leads to the generator. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Really quickly, I have my generator for the kitchen back here. Just a little room on the back here. Thought I'd let you know. But anyways, this one just leads back to the generator room, and this leads back to some habitable space here that I haven't figured out what to use for yet. This leads into the bedroom, which is very ugly. Oh, come on. I want to close the door. There we go. Very ugly. Just a bunk bed, so I can spawn twice. This is the crafting room. Pretty big. I have various different stuff. I have some storage boxes for some of the heavier materials, like obsidian, crystal. This is like technology stuff, pearls, electronics, element dust, and elements. I don't know what that is. That one is pearls, like silica pearls, but I've spent all of them on saddles. This is oil. I'm actually running out of space for oil, as you can see. And then these are... All of these four were used for paste, because I have so much paste, but I used it for something. I don't really remember what it was. I think it might have been saddles, but either way, I ran out of pearls, or cement paste eventually, or at least in the chest. But those four used to be for cement paste. A chemistry table. I guess I can do this now, as we're inside with light. This is the chemistry table, which I use to craft stuff, obviously. This is the refrigerator, where I store polymer, because at least with the superstructure refrigerator, they last significantly longer. That's 10 minutes in my inventory, and like 16 minutes. No, this is over a day, actually. So that way, I don't have to keep going back for polymer every single time, or like... Yeah, it's very annoying when all the polymer spoils. I don't really use the fabricator that much right now, so it has a lot of junk. But obviously use that for weapons. Forge is melting metal, or at least usually is. Although we are about done with the last batch. I believe there is some more in my Ankylo, though. Yeah. But charcoal for gunpowder and metal, obviously. This is the superstructure crafting station, which is used to craft some of the metal structures for the superstructure mod. Also kind of keep some junk in there. Smithy, with also more junk and stuff. And this is the upgrade station I'm talking about. It's a very long process in order to get the cheapest blueprints for the high equipment. Because if you just upgrade it with this thing, like upgrade, say, I don't know, hat in to Ascendant, it might cost 10,000 fiber to build, right? But if you put it into the little what do we? There we go. If you put it into this station, which is the argument station, which basically allows you to upgrade the stats individually, like armor, durability, etc. If you level up the stats for the thing you're making here first to the maximum, because there is a limit, and then you upgrade it and for one step, and then come back here and max it out first. If you max it out between each level up, from like primitive to journeyman, or what is it, ramshackle, etc., etc., all the way up to ascendant. If you do that, it is a tedious process that costs more resources than it otherwise would, but the blueprints will be a lot less expensive. Like this one is ascendant with 570 durability and 416 damage, which is the maximum, at least for the upgrade station. And it will only cost around 100 polymer, but if I would have used... if I only would have, like, leveled up here, it might have gone all the way up to 1,000 or so polymer. So, it is much better. Maybe you didn't understand that, but, point it, it's a tedious process to get stuff good, but on the other hand, it will be very cheap when you're done. That's the upgrade station I use a lot. And then, this is for the more high-tech gear, although I realized you can just use one of them, so this one is kind of pointless. But that's the crafting room. This is my grinder. I just keep it in here. Easy access. Put all the loot I get. These are from the NPC mod, although I removed it because it's kind of laggy and glitchy and stuff. But I just put everything in here and grind it and get a bunch of resources. And then this is the storage room, which is full of chests. I'm not going to go through... Actually, I am going to go through all of them, but there isn't stuff in every single one. This one keeps angular gel. This one keeps all the blueprints for the saddles. And I believe that's pretty much... Yeah, this one keeps some regular X saddles for some reason, and an extra artifact of the massive, not sure why. And that's pretty much it. All of these other ones are empty, with the exception of these, which I think hold fertilizer. Yes. These ones keep... I don't really remember. This is trophies of sorts. I need a cunning for my trophy room. I thought I had an extra one, but I guess I'm missing a cunning artifact. This is like the loot drops, that stuff, like the creature drop. This is chibis and holiday loot, I was about to say, like event loot. And this is all the skins that you get from killing alphas. This is armor. This is arrows and ammo. This is weapons and attachments. And this is tools and stuff. I keep a set of all the different tools in case I'm doing some sort of video on it. And then these, I'm not sure. I think most of these are empty right now, but this one has... Why on earth does this one have some artifacts? I did not know that. This one has a skin. This one is seeds. This one is structures. This one is other blueprints. I haven't organized these, though. I don't think... I think most of these are empty. Yeah, the rest of these used to have hide, but I used all of it. And then we have an empty room back here. I'm not sure how bright or dark Like, sometimes it feels like stuff is really light, other times it seems like stuff is really dark. So I'm sorry if it might be a little bright. I think I'm just going to keep the brightness on unless absolutely, completely, like, blinding. This is just a back room, not sure what to use it for. But that leads us up to the animal cage, which looks like this. This is where I keep the more vulnerable creatures. Up here is shoulder mounts, mostly. Esperornis, Microraptor. I think you might have Turkey Dinosaur. I believe that's the one I tamed in my video. We have Donald Duck there. We have a pelican, some dodos, a penguin, Archaeopteryx, a bee. I don't want to turn it into a hive because I want it to be a tame. Plus, I can make my own hive. We have monkey. We have dodo, compy. Down here, I have some 150 galleys, hyenodon, unicorn. That's my most precious. What do you say? Like, my most prized possession. That's the one. Spider, Patchy. I don't know why I keep one of the Patches outside, the other one's in here. Scorpion, some of my older Dodex and Tames. Sheep, Moschops, Diplocalus, Bat. What else is it? Equus, some horses, Dimorphodon. Yeah, just some of the more vulnerable creatures. A couple of these, like the Ankylo, is a backup Ankylo in case the other one dies. And then we can go with the staircase up, and this room you have seen before, if you watched my Achatina video. It's my Achatina taming cage. None of these have names except for George, who I tamed in that video. But we have 20 Achatinas, gimme paste and organic polymer. Even though I rarely check them though, because again, those collectors pick up what they drop, so I get a lot of it from the outside collector as well. Then we have the actual artifact room, which needs the cunning. There we go. Artifact room, or trophy room, if you will. I am not sure. I must have taken the quality down because what is my textures on? Textures on medium. Let's there we go. That's more like it. Oh, the shine started. Is that? Yeah, okay, so the shine it didn't really change much. Still looks really weird. Yeah, but this is my trophy room. It's almost complete, so this basically my playthrough here is to beat the game entirely. So tame every creature, get every note, tame or beat all the bosses, put the artifacts and heads on display, and of course go for the Overseer at the end. So I have all the artifacts. They're organized in alphabetical. So we have the Brute, Clever, Cunning, Devourer, or Dever, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. This is the Hunter. This is the Survivor trophy. That just looks cool. Immune, Massive, Pack, Skylord, and Strong. All alphabetical order, from right to left. No, left to right. And then we also have the trophies on the back, plus the Rex trophy. So here we got the Gamma, Beta, Alpha, Broodmother, Gamma, Beta, Alpha, Big Monkey, and then the Rex in the middle, and then here's going to be the Alpha, or Gamma, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Beta, Alpha, Dragon as well. I haven't beaten the dragons yet, though, because it's the hardest boss. So I've only got the Gamma one so far. So maybe in the future, if I continue expanding on the base and stuff, I will make a new tour where I show the new stuff. But that's the trophy room, at least. Almost complete. Gonna have all the trophies in here, all the artifacts, all the dead things. That does mean that I have to kill the bosses twice, though, because I need to get the, like, one head for the display, and then one to beat the Overseer. So that's a little bit annoying, but on the other hand, a lot of element. And that's all for the base on the inside. There's a room up there where it's metal, but I haven't made any way to get up there, actually. Right now. But it's right up here, basically. But there's no way up right now, so I can't really show that room. And that was all for the main base. But we're not completely done yet, because there is a couple of extra things on this map that I need to show you. Because that would complete kind of a world tour. So the first one is my ocean pen, which is right over here. There it's loading in. Not the most pretty thing. It is not entirely a water base. It is literally just a container for all my sea dinos so that they can stay safe. But this is where I keep my... Oh, this is where I keep my water dinos, sea creatures. We are just up north, 25.4 by 74.4s. This is where I keep... Yeah, sea dinos. It is daytime, so we can turn off the brightness. I don't really go out to sea much, so I haven't tamed that many sea creatures as maybe I should. But you can see there is a couple of Mosas. I don't need the map open. One of them was a crappy low level just to get one, and the other one was a high level to actually use to kill alphas in the future. I have a couple of Megalodons as well. Actually, it is easier to see them from the sky. A couple of Megalodons as well. A Deinosuchus from that Ark Editions mod, and also an Archelon or Archelon, or yeah, the big sea turtle there. And I always forget what these guys are called. The Exifacnax or something. Is that Chinese? I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. Exifactinus? I don't know. But that thing. Abyssinal? Oh, I am bad at pronouncing some words. Abyssinal, I think it's called, which is like a glow-up version, and a normal one. Also have a couple of Pelagornis. My Sarco is here somewhere. I don't really know where he is, but we have a Capro right there. The Basilosaurus is under there, it looks like. No, that's right. It's right there. I don't really know where my Sarco is. But, yeah, there it is. Sarco. Basilosaurus, Dunkleosteus is right underneath us. And, of course, the Plesiosaur as well, which I believe is either a 145 or 150. We have two Plesiosaurs, so I think one of them is a 150, because I rarely tame two unless I have to, or unless I find 150s. And that's pretty much it for the water pen. In terms of construction, if you're curious, we have a Behemoth gate in the front, ramps on all sides so I can easily get up here. And then it's just a bunch of pillars with walls on one side, so that normal creatures that swim won't be able to get in here. Although bigger creatures like the Rex can walk in on the corners here. But honestly though, I think all of these are put on neutral. They'll slaughter anything coming in here. So it's just mainly to keep the sharks and stuff out that spawns in the water here. So it's just a simple water pen to keep the dinos in. Final thing I'm going to show you is my starter base, because that might give you some inspiration if you're starting off on the island. So I'm gonna head there now, as it's quite far away though, so I'll see you when I reach it. I guess it's gonna be worth mentioning that I have a couple of tree platforms, where I think I have two, just to get some sap. Nothing built on them, at least not yet. But yeah, this is just a little tree platform, very edge of the redwoods right here, so that I have short access to some sap. Not really a base, not yet at least, but it is worth mentioning because I'm kind of showing off the world. I also made one on the other side of the redwoods for my starter base, which is pretty close by. A bit further up in the treetops. I don't even remember if this one has a tap. It actually doesn't look like it has a tap. I never got to that stage, I guess, but yeah, this one was meant to get sap for the early game, but I think I might have moved before I actually used it. So that's just another thing. But we are closing in on our base. It will appear at any moment now. The rocks are loading in. So the rocks are loading in. There is my little Baryonyx cage. You might have seen this structure in the background from that Baryonyx video, because I tamed it right here. This is my starter base. I built it at the very, very gorgeous, good location right here. 78.1 by 27.6. Very good location for a base, because you have protective cliffs around every side, water nearby, and access to, like, swamp creatures, jungle creatures, water creatures. Like, it's a pretty good starter location. So this is where I built my first base. You can see some of the dinos from my early game is still here. Oh, wait, that's where I left my Thylacoleo. Okay. But this is an aerial view of the area. Bridge going over to the other side, so I have access to these resources, because like, geographically speaking, these resources are closer to my, like, the heart of the base than the ones in the jungle, or they're roughly the same distance. So making a bridge across here is very crucial if you want to get the maximum amount of resources and, like, use for this base. So I built this bridge, first wood, when I was actually, like, in the early stage. But then I remade it into stone because I was bored and I needed some levels. I also made a little taming cage here, which is basically my starter taming cage. But I made it into stone because I had the resources to, and again, level up in the early game. But if you watch my taming cage video, it is the same design. You lead them up the ramp, walk out the side, and you got yourself a dino trapped. I actually believe my starter taming cage is over here. Yeah, he's right there. Because, yeah, I do actually do all my, like, tutorial videos on an actual world. I think that's more fun than just spawning everything in. Just the starter one. Yeah, so this is the starter base. Pretty basic. Gate there so that in case something follows me all the way up, they won't be able to pass through. I have a little turret on the bottom because I tested them out on how good they were alone. Just mainly for fun. Although I don't understand how it's still alive though, because I haven't given it any fertilizer for literally days. Like, literal, like, plus 24 hours. But if we drop down, it's a pretty basic system how to, like, get down. So basically, drop into the water. Bad idea. But, we have some ladders leading up so that if this happens and there's a piranha there, you can easily escape. But you can basically jump down in the water, quickly climb up this ladder, check on it. Okay, it's about to die. And then you can just climb up this ladder and get back up on the base without going into the water swimming, or swimming to the shore first, for example. Just a little design. This is my crop farm, although it's obviously not working anymore. Built on foundations to line it up. I have my old Fiome here, just to give me fertilizer or poop. Old preserving bins that actually has a little bit of fertilizer in them. This is my... I'm not sure why he is here, but this is how my gate work. Pretty basic. Gate so I can get in and out. And this one just has a spike wall to cover up that side. My water system, going down to the lake here. A couple of water tanks in case it breaks, because they might break from a baryonyx or something. So one going to the farm, and one going to, like, the main hub area here. So I can get water easily. Feeding trough to feed my dinos. This is where I kept my dodos. In here. And then I had an item collector, but when I moved, I still weren't that rich on metal, so I just picked it up and moved it, instead of creating a new item collector when I moved, so that's why there's no one here anymore. One big behemoth gate this way. This is like the main entrance. And you need a behemoth gate to cover it, pretty much. As you can see, it's a perfect fit. And you can bring bigger dinos in, like that Stego, for example. Actually, I think the Stego fit the regular dino gate, but... my early Stego, high level, but not that good. This is my very ugly stone building. Some of my early storage boxes. These are literally the first storage boxes I put out. Back when I started, roughly in November, when I started my channel. Or uploaded my first video on the channel now, anyways. You also have a free Explore note so you can get some levels. So inside here, just some primitive old crafting stuff. We have mortar and pestles, cooking. We have some preserving bins, so we can make jerky. We have an upgrade station, although I didn't know about the blueprint and augmentation stuff, so it's just a crafting state or upgrade station there. Smithy, some forges so we can make metal. I also had some torches to make it look nice. Superstructure crafting station. A very cramped economic crafting room, or no, storage room here. We have a bedroom, although I don't think more than one of these beds work. You can also climb up here, and there's another bed. And this is just where I was supposed to build and expand, including making a fabricator. And some more cooking fires, and some more fires. But that was at the end before like pretty much right before I moved. So that's pretty much it for the main house. You can see there's a couple of windows. I forgot to show those when I was inside, but there's one here and one on the other side. Keep my early raptor here. I'm not sure why he doesn't have a saddle anymore, but this is my first raptor. Parasaur, this probably would be my first Parasaur as well. One of the Iguanodons, the other one I moved, but this one I was too lazy to do. And then finally, a little sniping platform, because it was a Baryonyx over there, so in order to snipe it with my rifle, and just to scout and see where it was, I made this little outpost, or like platform that sticks out on the side there. And that's it for this base. Did I just see another Baryonyx? No. Oh wait, no. Oh Jesus Christ! I forgot the water pen. This is defense. I think this is actually kind of neat. Wooden pillars. No, wooden spikes on pillars. You can have obviously a gate so you can go through, and then a little ladder so you can get up here and look what's on the outside. Typically, the most hostile thing I find here is a Dillo, but still. Defend, it's a pretty decent defense. Nothing broke in. Then we have a little ramp going down to my little water area. Because I obviously wanted to make a water pen. Now, I haven't really been much out at sea, so I didn't realize that the Megalodon was too big for a gate. But the Ichthyosaurus used to fit through here, but it died. Never tamed a new one before I moved, so this water pen remains empty. It used to have my Pelagornis for some time, but I moved it over. But I still have my first Megalodon here, though. Just a ramp leading down so I can easily get up. I decided to just build a bridge here because I was bored, plus that makes it easier to access this area. Although I was supposed to put a gate here, but I never got to that. And then the water pen itself. Similar, basically the same design as the one at the other base, like pillars and walls, but this one has just a couple of ladders instead of ramps, because the ramps would literally occupy like half of this cage. And then I had to do this compromise, so one ladder and one ramp, so I could still walk around this whole thing. I also have a couple of turrets, I have a raft, and on the back here, just a very little shack in case I died out at sea, which actually happened surprisingly often. And this storage box used to have some scuba gear, although I've moved it to the new base now. And that is all for this base. And it is also the last base. Now, I have a couple of ideas to on what to do on this world in the future. Obviously, this is the world where I record all my creature videos right now. Also where I recorded my cave videos. Only videos I haven't recorded here was the note ones, because I wanted the notes for actual levels and not just to level up one bird. Oh, Jesus frick. I'm so happy that there is water right there. Yeah, my plans for the future, like, obviously I'm going to beat the bosses, although right now I'm not really playing much on this one other than making those creature videos, because, I am busy with my center Let's Play. But whenever I get time to go back here and play, then I will finish the game, and I also plan to do some other stuff. You know, all the tutorials are filmed here because I have access to resources and stuff. And I will also probably make some more bases when I'm done. Like, I'm not planning on quitting this world. I've just planned to, like, when I finish, I'm gonna build maybe some what would you call it? PvE buildings, like proper ones. Maybe a little village somewhere. Maybe some more bases. And obviously expanding my main base. But, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. But, yeah, so that was my world tour. 400 subscriber special. Probably way too long compared to what it should be, but regardless, this video will pretty much be uncut. If you did enjoy this one, if you did enjoy the 400 subscriber special, and you want your base to be shown as a part 2, because I feel like showing my base and showing your base is a pretty decent thing to celebrate 4 milestones, then make sure to comment it down below, or you can join my Discord and comment it there. And I will see you guys in the next one, which will probably be a creature video, because I have a lot of time right now, so I can make a bunch of creature videos. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys. And again, thank you so much for 400. Goodbye.